Are you addicted to sugar and you don't even know it? Do you crave sugar and sweets? Do you sneak or hide sugary foods? Do you feel anxious or uneasy about the thought of not even having them? Do you have feelings of guilt after consuming sweets? Do you treat yourself with a sweet treat as a reward or to feel better? Well, you are likely addicted to sugar. And yes, it is an addiction.
But is there a mental connection, though, to sugar addiction?
Yes, so definitely we always like to talk about the mind and the mental connection to, our subject matter. And definitely with sugar, we know that we use sugar as a reward.
Right.
So, when we're talking about sugar addiction and using this from the mental aspect, maybe it's because we want to feel better. Maybe we feel anxious or we're stressed and we want to, make ourselves feel better. Well, how many times do we go for that, sugary treat? And, I know that this is true for a lot of you that are watching. So just to be mindful, no pun intended, when we're talking about the mind, being mindful of that and start to recognize that in yourself. Ask yourself every time you go for something sweet, why are you going towards that? Is it a habit or is it because you need to feel better? Is there something in your life that, you're not processing well or is not feeling good? And there's a lot of those things for a lot of people, and going to the sweets is just compounding the fact that it's not going towards your better health. And that's what I'm all about, is going towards your better health.
I think about that from time to time because I know in that one spot in the kitchen, I have that chocolate stash, and I know it's there, and I know when I feel like a little pick-me-up, that tends to be where I go anyways. But you know what, if you don't already know, make sure that when you are online watching us, please do like what you're watching, subscribe, and also click that bell to always get future notifications of the next Dr. Janine show. And you can follow Dr. Janine, of course, on all the different social media platforms at Dr. Janine. That's DoctorJanine, and also on TikTok as well. And you'll see all the recipes that we'll be featuring in this show, and past episodes are on YouTube for you, Facebook Live and YouTube. We still have a recipe to get to here, by the way. And when you are online and you've done all of that, consider sharing the show with somebody. Send it off to family and friends. Now, when it comes to sugar addiction,
yes,
this really sounds like it's going to be a process. So how do we start breaking the sugar addiction issue?
So yes, when we want to talk about, the tips, which will be coming up about how to do this, but first let's determine if you actually have the sugar cravings. So if you have the following symptoms, it would indicate, yes, that you have sugar cravings. So, Number one, are you anxious?
Okay.
Do you hide eating sugary foods? Do you eat them when you're not even hungry? Do you get headaches if you stop eating those sugary foods? That would be a telltale sign as well. And another sign would be, do you get shaky? So if you've stopped, having, you just say, okay, I'm done, I'm going off the sugar, do you get shaky? And
like withdrawals, you mean, kind of?
Yeah, so
really?
we'll be talking about withdrawals in just a second. But yeah, if you get that shaky feeling, if you haven't had enough sugar. And are you always thinking about the next time you get to have your sugar fix? So people will plan early in the day, like, I'm going to have my chocolate bar here, then I'm going to have my pop here, then I'm going to have my coffee with my sugar here. People are planning that sugar fix. Wow. That would be another sign. Or maybe do you need more and more sugar as time goes on? And remember, we talked about that with the dopamine in the brain and the downregulation of those dopamine receptors in the brain. And that's why the need for more and more happens.
Remember to like and subscribe. And click that bell to get future notifications of the next Dr. Janine show, where you get questions with natural answers from a naturopathic doctor. And you can follow her on Instagram, of course, and TikTok, and all the other different social media platforms at Dr. Janine, DoctorJanine. And she'll also be online, by the way, during the show. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below in that field. All right. So you promise you're going to be telling us how we can break our sugar addiction. I'm ready to learn how to do that myself, and I bet everybody watching is too. How do we do that?
So to break your sugar addiction, typically, I've always said it takes about 11 days to break a habit. So you have to commit more or less to 11 days. And first, we're going to talk about how to stop eating sugar completely. And what this means is basically going cold turkey. And this is not for everyone. So I'm just going to say, there may be some withdrawal symptoms when we're talking about going cold turkey, which could include headaches. You could feel very fatigued. You could have, even sweats during the day because, yeah. So if you think about withdrawal symptoms that happen with people addicted to drugs,
True, sure.
Right? And alcohol, these things happen. We see it I haven't seen it firsthand, thank God, but I've seen it in the movies, and you see all these withdrawal symptoms can be related to the sugar addiction as well. You may even experience dizziness and nausea, and even muscle cramping and muscle aches can be when you're coming off of the sugar. Your moods could change, so you could become very, irritable and uptight, but you could also become very depressed and low mood with anxiety and just not, feeling like the best person to be around,
right.
For your loved ones and your family members and maybe your coworkers. So maybe if you're going to go cold turkey, you're going to be all in. We have a tip to help you to get through this, which is something we actually referred to in our last episode, the hidden secrets of magnesium deficiency. And this is what I highly suggest. So somebody who's going off of sugars, maybe you're starting the keto diet, which is very low sugar, low carb, and you don't want to have a lot of these withdrawal symptoms or what they call the keto flu, but really it's withdrawal from sugar, I think most times, to be honest. And it could be an imbalance with your electrolytes, so you have to fill in those electrolytes. So that's something that we shared, and that's the drink that we had in our last episode.
So good. I took it home with me afterwards. Also, love that drink, and you can find the recipe again on all the different social media platforms like Instagram at Dr. Janine.
Yes, and that was our electrolyte drink. So we, mixed it up. So check out our other episode for that and our recipes on the other social platforms so that you can see that, because you don't want to miss that. And that's something that will really help to get you through if you are going cold turkey, or if you're going into another way of doing this with weaning off, which we're going to get to in just a second. It'll really help to get through those symptoms of the withdrawal from the sugar.
Be sure to like and subscribe and click that bell so you never miss another future notification of another Dr. Janine show coming up. And be sure to share the show too. Feel free to spread the word, and spread some information and education. Look, we all like to watch a little bit of TV with some escapism from time to time. I totally get that, but this is important. Every episode is, and you can find them all on YouTube too.